Hello, hello, and welcome. I am Beverly Fells Jones, your author, speaker, and seminar leader, and your host. Now, I haven't been on camera in like forever, and I decided that today I would, sitting in my dining room, sitting here at the table. But on this show, I talk about how to expand your world of thought. Explore the world of positive thinking, law of attraction, and consciousness from many points of view. Now, I like to share with you information that will enlighten you, empower you, have you think wonderful, magnificent things for you in your life. I want to encourage you to think in the positive, and I want you to know that miracles can happen because I truly believe you've been given the power of the word and thought to create the life that you want. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for being here. But please hit the subscribe button, share it with others so others will know and find out that this channel exists and that they can do things and learn about wonderful thought leaders from over 100 years ago and 50 years ago and even present day that will allow you to change your thinking. And if you already think in this way, to deepen your thinking, to deepen your thought process, to deepen the idea that you have the power to create the life that you desire. So subscribe, share, and hit the bell so that you'll be notified when I decide to listen to me, a new video. Well, I know this is back. Wow, it's right words. The prosperity secrets of the ages. Okay, so that's what we are. We're dealing with Catherine Ponder, and we just finished three sections from her chapter on the seven secrets, right? The seven secret attitudes for success. Well, now I'm going to chapter 4, your gateway to successful living. And she says, from the Garden of Eden. Now I'm going to turn off the video, go back to my normal video stuff that you've seen previously. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, I'm off screen now. All right. So here we go. Your gateway to successful living from the Garden of Eden, which is from chapter 4 from Catherine Ponder's The Prosperity Secrets of the Ages. And as we've noted previously, she is using the Bible as an allegory for lessons that we can use within our life to make our lives better. So this one, the Garden of Eden allegory in Genesis 2 and 3, contains a simple formula for attaining health, happiness, and satisfying results. She says the word Eden means pleasantness, and that this Garden of Eden actually symbolizes a harmonious, pleasant, blissful state of mind. She says it is the harmonious, pleasant state of mind that contains all possibilities for achieving favorable results in your life. And she goes on to tell you that this story is going to help us develop this state of mind. She says that Adam symbolizes your intellectual faculty of wisdom, and Eve symbolizes your emotional nature of love, the two powers of the mind the yin and the yang. So when expressed in harmonious, balanced way, you can lead into a greater good that you've never really known before. She says mankind longs to know about and give balanced expression to wisdom and love. Let love and wisdom be united in me as an ancient prayer. One of the things that I've been taught in science of mind and different other modalities is the fact that we have the capability of changing things. One person. There's the one. Be the change you want to see in the world, right? So Catherine says, when you constantly use your faculties of love and wisdom to dwell on the thought of good in yourself, in others, and in the world, you find yourself in an Eden state of mind. She says a delightful success secret is that only one person who dares to get into an Eden state of mind is all that is needed to change an entire situation. So this is when she goes into one of her stories. So here we go. This is from a housewife. At the time I learned of success attitudes for your writings, I felt I had reached the end, that I could not go on. My husband was on the brink of a nervous breakdown and in deep depression. Our oldest son, age 19, was struggling to stay in college, doing it all on his own, without a dime of help from us. Our middle son, age 12, had been under treatment for several years as an emotionally disturbed child. He had periods of becoming quite angry, on the edge of violence, was beginning to react to all this discord with temper tantrums and sulking spells. She seemed unable to get along harmoniously with her friends or teachers. I kept getting one kidney infection after another. Since I have only one kidney left, you can imagine the concern I felt when my doctor warned me to be especially careful. After learning of the power of a pleasant, harmonious state of mind to improve personalities, situations, events, and even one's health, I bought a notebook and a pen, and every time I started to worry, feel sick, or afraid, I sat down, wrote the name of the family member or the situation that was bothering me, and then I wrote down a pleasant, positive statement about it. I'm going to stop right there. So what I want to recommend is that you take the time, get yourself a journal, a notebook, a notepad, a piece of sticky note, whatever it is, and use it to record your thoughts, especially when you have a situation where you need to uplift yourself, right? You have something bothering you. You want to write it down. Okay, so she continues. For my husband, our children, and for myself, I often wrote, I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Let me repeat that. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. She says, my husband was at a standstill when I began using this success attitude 6 weeks ago. So note, it's not instantaneous. It takes patience and perseverance and holding that thought, holding that feeling, holding that idea of love and wisdom, right? So she started it 6 weeks ago. Recently, he took a bath, the first in weeks. He got his hair cut and turned out some work on his own without a word of prodding from me. Our son in college received a $100 refund on income tax. He also got a job managing the baseball team, so his tuition will be provided. Our middle son has gone for several weeks now without displaying violent behavior. His disposition has greatly improved. Our daughter is getting along better with her friends and teachers. As for my kidney infection, it has cleared up completely, and I am now launching on a health program to build up my resistance. I shall always be grateful for learning of the power for good that one person has in a situation when that person holds to pleasant, harmonious thoughts. A few years ago, there was a movie called The War Room. It's probably still available out there on some streaming service, but it was a woman having issues in her marriage, and then there was the older wise woman and taught her about prayer and having a room where you just do your prayer. She had little she used her closet. She had all these little sticky notes in her closet and she was praying for what she wants. She didn't pray the problem. She prayed for peace and harmony and love and a, a good family, whatever it was. And then her daughter started praying in that prayer room. So think about it. And of course, in the story, everything turned around. But this story that was written and sent to Catherine is another example of using that power of word and thought to change the situation in your life. Another section, Paradise, Your Choice. The serpent who led Adam and Eve astray symbolizes your five senses of sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell. These senses often tried to call attention of your wisdom and love, Adam and Eve, mind powers to appearances of failure, limitation, or evil in your world. Adam and Eve were placed in a garden of lavish abundance and giving access to all its blessings. A loving Father expected them to use their mind powers of wisdom and love to dwell upon the abundant good He had lavished upon them. So you remember that all these animals and birds and Adam was given the opportunity to name all these things. Right? So he was given authority over them. So as long as Adam and Eve remained in a harmonious state of mind and dwelled upon the goodness of God in their midst, they remained in Eden. They were driven from Eden and were subject to pain and hard work only after they misused their power of choice. In choosing to dwell on the knowledge of good and evil, rather than continuing to dwell upon the good only, they lost their paradise. She says you too have been divinely endowed with the power of choice. You have been given authority to name your experiences either good or evil. Whatever you name them, they become to you. I've seen this so often. I've read something or seen something happen and I said, oh, that's really nice. But then somebody else comes along and goes, oh, that, and gives a negative turn on that. And I go, I don't understand. How can they be negative on that? That's good. That helps people. But then they turn it around to make it evil. So whatever you choose, it is what it is to you, right? You name it. So how often have you made the same sad mistake as Adam and Eve and misused your power of choice to dwell on appearances of evil in or around you? If so, you drove yourself from Eden, but you can return. Next title, Blind to the Good. The success attitude you learned from Adam and Eve's downfall is that attention to evil doubles evil. Also, the description of evil doubles evil. The thrilling thing is that the reverse is true. Attention to good doubles good. Description of good doubles good. Whatever of evil you see in others will happen to you in some negative form. You know, people talk about karma, right? It comes back to what you send out, comes back to you. She's basically saying the same thing. When you run down someone else with your criticism and condemnation, you are opening the way for some phase of your mind, body, and affairs to become run down in the form of ill health, unhappiness, confusion, or lack. A woman once wrote asking for prayers about her eyes. She said, "I'm still a young woman, yet I have gone almost blind, and it has happened so fast." She then spent the rest of her 3-page letter running down her family, friends, neighbors, church, and city officials. According to her, there was something wrong with everything and everybody in her world. Have you met somebody like that? Have you seen that in your world? We need to turn that around, right? She continues, the miracle of it was that there was not more wrong with her than just sudden blindness, because she had become blinded to the good in life and was partaking of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. She was reaping in her own body what she had sown in her thoughts about other people. But there is good news. Along with the tree of knowledge of good and evil, there was another tree in the Garden of Eden, and this was the tree of life. When you partake of the fruit of the first tree, dwelling upon appearances of evil, you are prevented from eating the fruit of the tree of life. But when you bypass the first tree, beholding only the good in every experience, then the tree of life with its abundant fruits of health, abundance, and happiness can be yours. I can hardly wait. An employee of a large organization once proved that a harmonious state of mind can be the gateway to successful results. So let's see what this is. One day this worker was driving home from work on icy streets. He was involved in an automobile accident. Instead of becoming upset and fearful, he jumped out of his car and declared, "I can hardly wait to see what good is coming from this." Good did result. A medical examination revealed he had suffered no physical harm, and his insurance paid the damages on his car. This man had been divinely protected in an experience that might have caused him serious physical injury and financial loss. Another businessman heard this story and decided to try this idea on a troublesome situation that had arisen. He had been informed that his job would soon be terminated because of his age. He did not wish to retire, but job prospects seemed dim. Nonetheless, whenever he thought of the termination of his job, he would declare, "I can hardly wait to see what good is coming from this." As he persisted in knowing there was good in this experience, it came in the form of another job offer. Because of many factors involved, the new work proved to be much better in every way than his previous job. So, when you are tempted to say of a situation, "Here is a hopeless problem from which there is no answer," say instead, "There is good in this experience, and the good is revealed to me now. In fact, I can hardly wait to see what good is coming from this." A formula for harmony. Remind yourself often that there are two ways of living open to you. One is that through all types of negative experiences, You can gain by contrast an appreciation of good. This is the hard, dreary, unnecessary way. The other way is God's way. Through developing a harmonious, pleasant state of mind that dwells on the good in yourself and other people and outer events, you see that evil is needless in your life. Every person in the world is following one or the other of these two paths. To be sure, good and evil seem to be pitted against each other in the world, but it is not necessary for you to eat of the tree of good and evil. You need not have knowledge of evil in order to realize the good and the power of good in your life. If you follow God's way, which is to know the good first, last, and always, your mind will become so charged with good that evil will become to you totally unreal and lacking in power. Evil appearances will fade out of your life. Wonderful. Evil is nothing. It is easier to remain poised in the face of evil appearances when you realize that the Hebrew word for evil, avin, means nothing. It seems that the ancient Hebrews knew that evil is nothing. All around us there are people who are quietly living in an Eden state of mind. They are harmonious, they are serene and secure. Their lives are productive of good because they are knowing the good, affirming the good, and experiencing it. And so I'm going to say one last story in this part 1 of this chapter. And it says, a businessman's success formula. A businessman related how he overcame ill health, financial failure, and family difficulties by daily dwelling on the good in the face of apparent evil. At the time he began to daily affirm, there is only one presence and one power in my life, God the good. Both he and his wife were in ill health. They had spent much money on various health treatments, but they were still suffering. This man had also gone from one job to another and had never found his right work. Their only child had proved to be a problem to them in many ways. As this man began to affirm only the good in his life, things gradually improved. Nothing spectacular happened, but he could see that good was becoming more evident in all phases of his life. It encouraged him and gave him hope to persevere in claiming God's blessings. First, his wife's health improved. Soon they were able to give up the expensive drugs and health treatments so long prescribed. As he continued affirming the good, he was offered the kind of job he had long desired. Later, the way opened for him to buy this business. This had been his dream for a long time. His business then prospered in ways he could not have foreseen. Their child matured and found work that challenged and satisfied him. He married and settled down to a harmonious, successful way of life. This businessman still keeps this statement where he can see it and use it daily. There is only one presence and only one power in my life, God the good. Let me read that again for you. There is only one presence and one power in my life, God the good. He continues to prove that by knowing the good, affirming the good, and living it, you can develop a harmonious, pleasant, productive state of mind that will lead to successful results. I've seen this in my own life. You can see this in your life. And you can declare, number one, the ancient Hebrews knew that evil is nothing. You can declare There is only one presence and one power in my life, God the good. You can also do. I can hardly wait to see what good is coming from this. I can hardly wait to see what good is coming from this. And from the woman who changed her family around, I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. This information, put it into your life, put it in effect in your life, and see the change. I encourage you to give me some comments about the things going on in your life. Share with me and others what living this life of not going into the evil but in the good has changed your life and made things good for you. Do not look at the negative. I know it's out there. We can't ignore it a lot, but look at the positive side, right? What good can come from this? Look at that and see what changes in your life. So I encourage you, if you haven't, please subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified when a new video is coming out. Comment below and hit the like button so that Google will share this information with others. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness. And as you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so.